Hey guys, so today I am going to be giving my Friesian stallion a bath. So I did buy this mount. It obviously is already done, but I love to do this thing called reverse taxidermy, and I'm gonna take, or at least try to take, this entire horse apart and completely redo it. I do want to make this horse a little bit smaller. And as some of you know, Friesians have a really big, beautiful neck, and I would like his head to be bent down in more of like a show horse position. I have already rehydrated one of his legs to see if this will work. Definitely don't try this at home if you do not know how old a mount is or what the tanning was like, because if you do that, there is a chance that this entire thing will fall apart, and there is still a chance that this whole thing could fall apart. So a little bit of insight on this stallion. So everyone wants to know how these guys died. This one in particular has a very interesting story. It is kind of sad, and it does happen more often than we would think. So this guy was a stud horse, which if you don't know, that means he was a horse that was used for breeding to make more Friesian horses. And unfortunately, he was kicked several times by the mare, did internal damage, and he eventually did have to be put down. I do not know his name or anything like that. I did buy this guy straight from the taxidermist who did do it. But if you have any suggestions for names, definitely comment below, because this beautiful boy definitely needs a name. All right, wish me luck. Let's get started. Just gonna give this guy a little bit of an overview before I do start working on him. Here's some of his features, his face. He does have a lot of marks on him. I'm assuming this is probably from him laying down a lot. And they get some rubs. He's got some leaves in his tail. Yeah, he's got a lot of marks. This part here is, yep, interesting. Personally, not my preference of how I think animals should be mounted. I'm assuming they wanted his male parts out because he was a breeding horse, but I am going to completely get rid of that and put a normal horse sheath on him without his privates hanging out. All right, there he is. So I immediately took care of the first problem, and here I'm just hosing him off with cold water. He's gotten a bath, and I've started shampooing him. I'm just using regular old mane and tail. This stuff works for live horses, dead horses. It also works great in people's hair. So I'm going to shampoo him, wash him off, and then go in with some conditioner. This mane, I've been dying to clean it. Literally dying to clean it. It's gonna look so much better. His natural curl's gonna come back once I wash this. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. It's the next day, and it's time to take this boy apart. It's gonna be interesting. So here's what I did last night. I didn't really film any of it because I don't really think it's that interesting, and it was a pretty tedious process. I basically just wrapped this entire horse after I washed it in warm beach towels. This helps loosen the hide paste, and then I saran wrapped the entire thing to try to hold that moisture in so that the skin will come off easily. So as you can see, we do a little test spot here. The skin is definitely ready to pop off the form. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna work in sections, starting with one leg and working my way to the next, doing all of the legs, popping the belly, taking the back off, and then I'll start to work on the neck and pull it off from the head. All right, well, I'm gonna get started on this boy, so cue the time lapse. So you're watching about 2.5 hours in about a minute, but I popped all the seams down his legs, and his hooves were really difficult to get off. I had to take a hammer to them, and they did eventually come off, but that was probably the hardest part of this. Now around his armpits, the skin was tucked in a lot, which took me a lot longer, and you can see the form is starting to fall over. That's because it was basically being held up by the hooves, and it almost fell over and killed me, but luckily there was a wall there. So here I'm working on his face. The first thing I did was untucked the horse's lips, and now I am trying to roll the skin over to see if I can pull this up over his head, and unfortunately that wasn't the case. I was desperately looking for a seam, but I ended up having to make my own cut. This horse cape weighed a ton. It was at least 50 to 60 pounds, and for just me, that was a lot. Well, here is the skin all laid out. It's huge. It's currently in its deflated horse stage, as I like to call it. It looks kind of funny, especially since the clay is a little still on the eyes, so it kind of holds its shape a little bit, but that is him. Now what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to flip this entire skin over. I'm gonna have to sit here and scrape all of this stuff off. So cleaning the skin ended up being a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. This stuff was really stuck onto it, but what I did was I sprayed it all over, folded the skin up, and came back to it until it was soft enough to take off. All right, so you can see here that this horse is basically stripped down to bare bones, no pun intended. The next step for me is to clean this entire form off and get it back to its original state. So stay tuned, thanks for watching, and I'll be sure to update you once I start remounting this horse. And let me know in the comments below what you think of pet taxidermy. Would you do this to your animal? Do you think it's weird? Cool? Creepy? All right, well, until next time, bye.